Start. Go live. All right, we're trying it again. We are live, education unlisted, edited. Let's see here. We need to. Public. Okay, let's see if that did the trick. All right, let's try it now. How about now? How about now? Now, question mark. We are going to get this to work, I swear to goodness. I'm just waiting to see if this now has gone live and you guys can see me. I'm live here. Definitely looks different than what I did here. Viewer activity, none. All right, here we go. It looks like we are good to go now. I am just double checking here. I'm going to see if this works. I do not see that coming. So I've got a good morning, true believers from VaporX. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me and you can see me. Give me a yes in the comments. This has been one hell of a challenge, trying to get this thing to go live. Are we good? Mary says nope. VaporX says yes. Let's see. Vapor. Better video. Thank you. I've got my team is not listening. Let's see. VaporX is on. Sorry, folks. I'm going to get this thing working here. We've got Chef Newsom is here. What's going on, Kim? Good to see you from the Pompous Pig. I've got people. So hopefully my team can figure out what the heck's going on. We're going to get this thing going. I'm sorry about the delay. I have literally had one hell of a morning trying to get everything switched over to this new stuff. And it looks like I didn't get the chat thing working, but I can see it here. So we're going to get started here in a second. Do know that hopefully the audio is good. Hopefully the video is way better because that really sucked. I was motivated to make the change, and we will get this thing started here. All right, here we go. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. STS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming weekend, get excited about crushing your goals, and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm Dave Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and your coach. Today, I want to share with you a little bit about, well, what my week looked like as a restaurant coach. I mean, what does a restaurant coach do? And so I'm going to give you a peek. Again, for those of you who are just joining me, I apologize for the late start. I had trouble getting everything started. I do have two of you that have told me you can hear me. Make sure you're logged into your Google account so you can participate in the chat. I will be able to answer your chats here. I'll eventually get it back up on the screen, but what can one do? So, here we go. Hey there, Restaurant Pro. Today, I just wanted to share with you what a week looks like for a restaurant coach. That coach is me. Do know right now it's Friday morning, and I can tell you it's been a morning battling with technology. As you know, I just got on here a little bit late. I was trying to get better video quality from my Studio B and learning how to directly connect to YouTube. That was the delay this morning, versus using a third-party software, which was making the quality just awful. So I apologize for that, but let's start off with what is a day / a week in the life of a restaurant coach look like? We're going to start off with Monday, right? Beginning of the week, for all intents and purposes. Know that I woke up at 3 a.m. to go row. For those of you who do not know, I'm a competitive rower. I rowed in high school and college, took about 34 years off, and I've been about 4 years back into the sport. I have traveled to England, I've traveled to Germany, I've traveled all over the US to compete, and man, I will tell you, I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. And so I am all in. I mean, hell, I've got a tattoo of a single sculler right here on my arm. So, I start off my mornings with rowing, and that's really important. Why is it important? It gives me health. I'm a heart attack survivor. In fact, this St. Patty's Day, as we passed it by, that is my 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6-year anniversary of having a heart attack on St. Patrick's Day. So, your health, you got to take care of yourself. So I do that by getting back into the sport of rowing. And I can tell you that also gives me identity, gives me purpose, it gives me community, gives me something outside of just work all the time. And I know what it is to be an entrepreneur and put all of your eggs in one basket. Well, Monday morning starts after I get ready for work. I get some paperwork done, what have you, and I have my first EOS meeting of the day. And EOS is Entrepreneurial Operating System, the book Traction. If you don't have it, go get it. I've got a number of my members that are going through the coaching program. I've got a number that are using the book as we are internally. And the Entrepreneurial Operating System just gives you a way to gather all of your ideas, your goals, put everybody on the right track, move it forward. And so, run by Steve Eller, who's our operations manager, a past member, incredibly organized person, because I'm the disorganized one. We start off with meeting number 1 of the week, and that's the operations meeting, where we sit and we talk about what's going on in the business, what operationally, and when I say operationally, you, our members, our potential members, our people that we serve, how can we do better? How are people progressing through our system? Our job is accountability to help you get results. We look and see not only who's participating, but who's looking at videos, who is watching those, who is getting their systems in place, who is moving forward, who are our trouble spots, who needs a kick in the pants, who needs a phone call, who needs a one-on-one to get you moving forward. And this is an important meeting. We're always looking for ways that we can measure our success, but ultimately a lot of it's anecdotal. It's hearing from people like you, what your successes are, what your challenges are, and that's really what's most important to us. Well, later on, I have my EOS meeting number 2, which is on leadership, and that's just Steve and I. This last meeting, we started looking at our next quarterly goals. What are our big rocks? As an entrepreneur, you've got to decide what it is you're going to try and accomplish each quarter. See, our to-do lists are a list of everything. Just everything, and everything's important. You tell me there's something on your list, your to-do list, that's not important. These are the criticals. These are the 3 things we are going to focus on. And when you get your whole team focused on those 3 things, those big rocks, they're more likely to get accomplished because you put more focused energy. Instead of doing all these little things, you're focusing on 1 major or 2 or 3 major projects. And so that was really important. Now, I will tell you that the rest of my day, I finalized 3 different speeches this upcoming week. I am speaking at Pizza Expo, 2 different speeches, and Bar and Restaurant Expo, 1 speech. Over 4 days, I will be in Las Vegas leaving Saturday. I'll be coming back Wednesday after my 3rd speech. And these are very important. It allows me to go out and share with more. These are all paid presentations, meaning people pay to be in those education sessions. So it's exciting for me. It's energizing to get in a room full of people who give a shit and want to do more and want to do better. And so there's an awful lot of time because I'm always tweaking and changing presentations for these shows. Then comes Tuesday. I wake up at 3 a.m. again to row. You're going to see a theme here. I have my 3rd EOS meeting of the week, and that is marketing. And this is where Steve, Jenny, and I get together and we look at our marketing efforts. What's working, what's not working. Don't you have that? Don't you sit there and want to look at what is driving customers into your building? What is being effective? Where are you wasting money? What should you be doing? How could you do better? Well, we spend time focusing on that. That usually those things drive off our big rocks. And we came up with a lot of really great things, from how we can streamline the process of getting those attendees at the seminars, the materials I give away for free, automated instead of by card and coming home and typing it in, to analyzing our social media campaigns and how they're doing, to seeing how the seminar, which is coming up in May, how those ads have started and what we can improve. And this is really important. Without driving people to your restaurant, without driving people to our site, right? Same thing, we have no one to serve. Now, I later have my fourth EOS meeting of the week, and that's sales. And that's where we review, it's Steve, Mary, Ryan, myself. We talk about who we've talked to, what their challenges are, who's potentially wanting to become a member, who's thinking about it, and who might not be a fit. We talk about how we can do a better job of representing what we do to make it easier for you to make a decision that this is a wise investment, and how we can truly help cure your pain. Now, the rest of the day goes on, and I've got a Restaurant Prosperity Group coaching call. Now, what is different about this? We have two groups. We have our RTI and we have our RTF groups. The RTI group is my high-level group, but I also have graduates of that program, people that are in my Mastery and Mastery Plus programs. I've got some people that are in Essentials that are just staying on as low-level members, have been through the program, but they stay together, and once a month, they all get on one group coaching call together. It's phenomenal. It's an opportunity to teach. And this week I talked a lot about implementer and how important it is that you have somebody on your team who is going to help you get shit done. And how, more importantly, not only how critical this person is to you in my program, the RTI program, I should say, but how you, the leader of your restaurant, are responsible for holding them accountable, for getting them to move forward. Because when they fail, you failed. Now, it doesn't mean, and I talked about it, that you may pick the wrong implementer and we could change that person. But you've got to be willing to hold them accountable, or you've got nothing. And we spent a lot of time on that. We also talked a lot about budgets, and a couple members are just how excited they were to have their budgets in place and how they're measuring their budgets, how it's creating their plan for success, critical part of the budgets. We talked the members who talked about the successes they've been having in the program, and we've talked to people who are frustrated and stuck, having challenges to do with people, with product, with their POS system, with credit card discounts. The topics went all over the place. It's really powerful when you're on a Zoom call with other restaurant owners and their implementers and realize that you're not alone, that there are people who understand your challenges. They walk in your shoes every single day. Now, let's go to Wednesday. Wednesday, wake up at 3 a.m. again. You get a pattern here, right? I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. to go row. And then this morning, I have once a month, I'm on our Restaurant Transformation Foundations group coaching call on Zoom. This is a group run by Steve Eller, our Director of Operations. Again, past member, so owned restaurants, a past CFO in real estate, so numbers guru, if you will. But somebody who's put in all these systems. And he runs a group. And this group, the RTF program, is primarily for those owners who either don't have an implementer or have lower volumes. So it's a more affordable program, but I come in once a month. So he runs the weekly calls, I run the weeklies on the other group, but this one I come in once a month and share. And I will tell you that this group is an amazing group of people. While they may be challenged in the sense of they don't have the revenues some of my RTI people have, they have the same challenges, same struggles, they need the same support. But because they may not have the $2 million in volumes, they might have $700,000, $800,000, $500,000 in volumes for a year. They've got to learn how to delegate. And we talked a lot about, since you don't have an implementer, how do we delegate? How do we go through the program, learn? How do we share tasks with multiple people to get more done? And we talked about that process, how to identify the people, how to delegate, why it's so important. Because when you're the owner and you're trying to do everything yourself, you can't get it all done. At the same time, we ended that call with one of the members who's been in that program for just about a year, beaming, just a smile ear to ear, talking about how the program changed his life. How he and his father went from not paying themselves to taking control with the budget and saying, we are not overspending. We are not doing these things wrong anymore. Taking those KPIs to his management team and saying, you've got to make these changes. We are going to hit these numbers. We are going to cut food costs. We are going to cut labor. We're going to become efficient with our time and our money, and how it changed his life. And he's still got plenty to go. We all have plenty to go. But I can tell you how powerful these group coaching calls are and how the program can be. Then I've got a group of members who have breweries and brew pubs. And they requested, can we put together a mastermind? Can we get a group of us on the call and talk about software that we use for tracking our beer, to how we handle marketing, how we handle, and when I say marketing, for distribution, and we talked about equipment and all this major stuff that are only specific to breweries and brew pubs. And that was powerful because they had a mini mastermind out of the group coaching calls. So we created a group coaching call just for them that they could share. We'll probably do it again because the power of many is so much stronger than you as on your own. Now, I went back to those presentations. I had to finalize them. I had to create PDFs. I had to make sure all the bonus items are all set up. I had to work with Steve to make sure we had all of the text messaging process working, and with Jenny to make sure we have QR codes, and we had the process how somebody could opt in and grab their presentation bonuses right away. I had one-on-one call with one of my members, Anthony. We were working on their budget, he and Leah, and we ran into a struggle. We got to labor, and I said, man, your labor, your dollars per labor hour worked in that call, you need to damn near cut labor in half in the kitchen, and even though your percentage wasn't so far off. And I said I volunteered to meet with his management team. So I had his front house and his back house manager, and we went through dollars per labor hour worked, and you could see the light bulbs go off. And how they could easily start to figure out how to cut just 3 hours a day on average. 3 hours. And how that was going to lower their labor costs by 1 point and increase their efficiencies, not to where I want it to be, but to where it's even more bearable. And that they learned that they've got to look at equipment, the menu, the steps, the prep, all the things that they can do. Can they get a late night menu in place, or later day, I should say, because they close early, that they can run the line with 2, not 3 cooks. On Thursday, you betcha I woke up at 3 a.m. to go row. And then I came back, and I'm going to tell you that this was a weird week. I had a wasted 4-hour block of my day. Why? Because when I got back, I got some paperwork done. I got showered, ready, and I had to go to a doctor's appointment for a pre-op. I'm going to have an operation, have a tumor taken out of my jaw. So come April, there probably won't be alive for anywhere from 1, 2, 3, even 4 weeks. I might be out as many as 4 weeks, but I think I'll heal well. It's not cancerous, it's benign, so don't worry about it, but it's a major deal. And so my wife and I went and did that. We had lunch, and between traveling all the way to Scottsdale and back, it was 4 hours just gone in my day. So I'm already feeling pretty amped up, which leads me right into a one-on-one coaching call with one of my members, Jake. And it wasn't a fun one. How do I fire my general manager? Not fun. And we walked through whether it truly was a fire, whether it was a demote, whether it was a salvage opportunity. Talked about how over the years what was not getting done, and how he as a leader needed to hold the next person accountable, even if we salvage this person. We talked about how when you sit one-on-one, that you've got to bring in facts. It can't be, I feel like, generally speaking, let's use you're late. You're late all the time. What the hell does that mean? Hey, in the last 3 weeks, you have been late on this day, this day, this day, this day, this day. Irrefutable facts. That it's not opinion. There's nothing to defend. Talk about facts. When the staff needs you, they can't find you. They come find me, and I'll have to call you on a cell phone to find you. How important it is that you're in the building, that you are available to the team during service operation. But not just anecdotally, these instances. And we talked about how it makes me sick. He said, oh man, you're really good at this. I said, yeah, because every manager I ever worked with always made me fire people. I hate it. It makes me nauseous. If you enjoy firing somebody, you're an asshole. Like just complete jerk. But sometimes we have to do what's necessary. I even talked about how if you know the culture's not where you want it to be. We talked about struggles with assistant managers with them, staff talking about the manager. That how cancerous that is to your restaurant. And how when you finally make the decision, if you decide to let this person go, how they're going to come out of the woodwork and go, what took you so long? And in between all these, we talked about Monday through Thursday, because we're on Friday right now. In between all those scheduled meetings, which are all Zooms, and the group coaching calls are 2 hours long. The one-on-ones are 1 hour long. My meetings are 1 hour to 30 minutes to 1 hour. I mean, like all of a sudden, you start to spend all this time on Zoom, you could be yourself in meeting paralysis, right? But they're all necessary, and they've got agendas, and they get done on time. But I had a lot of things on my plate this week. In between all those calls, I worked on a sponsorship package, a brand new one that we're going to expand the sponsorship opportunities for people to advertise, if you will, on my podcast, at my seminar, maybe in the newsletter, and so on, to find ways to generate revenue that we can do things like this. And it doesn't matter that I'm chewing up time to give you free content. It's something that's important, and there is revenue coming in to support that. I had several meetings with my CPA, learning that my past accountant, CPA, may have screwed up my taxes several years ago. Been waiting for I've been waiting for about $16,000 to get back from the IRS, because early on starting the company, after I sold my other company, started this one up, we had some losses. So you had to build, right? Y'all know what losses are, right? And they fucked up, excuse my French. And that 16 grand may be gone. We had multiple communications about that and upcoming tax stuff, and met with my wife, and we're filling out all that stuff. Talked about and did a lot of research to bring back a program that Mary is just so well suited for. My last company, she helped me with this and just took complete ownership, and she's phenomenal when it comes to this. We're going to create and hopefully implement a new 100-day program as members come in to truly get them better engaged, heard, and feel good about what they're working on. I'm thrilled about that. And I spent hours, and I mean hours, on this tech, this live that I had a challenge to go live on. I thought I had social media all set up where I could bring up the comments and so on. I got a little more to do. I'm getting there. I'm working on revamping my seminar, my 2-day seminar. I'm actually looking to cut some material in order to spend more time on more critical things, which means I've got to redesign the PowerPoint, I've got to redesign the book, I've got to get the book sent back to the printer. Just lots to do. And there was much more little things, lots of little things. And I'm not going to lie, I wasn't completely efficient with my time, because quite honestly, after spending the time going to the doctor for pre-op and realizing I could be out of rowing for 2 to 4 weeks, I might not be on camera for 1 to 2 weeks, didn't sit well with me. And you know the deal, when your mind starts to wander and see things, you get a little, it takes you off task. So it means I got extra work to do. And like every entrepreneur, I feel like I'm very behind. But I've got a great team. And because I've got a great team, you and my members are all going to get taken care of. Whether I'm efficient right now or not, I've got the right people on my team. And you've got to have that same thing. Now I'll tell you, it was a challenging week, but I want to tell you what keeps me motivated. What keeps me motivated is seeing member successes. Those 2 member stories that I shared with you are phenomenal. They just light up my day. What keeps me motivated is helping members change their lives, get through their challenges, because we often feel like we're alone. Don't you feel alone sometimes? If you're not in my group coaching program on this live, are you telling me you don't feel alone? That nobody understands you? You could have friends who are entrepreneurs, but they don't own restaurants. And you tell them your challenge, like, oh, that's easy. Why don't you just do this? And you're like, you don't frickin' understand. You got to be kidding me. But when you're on with other restaurant owners who feel your pain, who walk your circle every single day, that's powerful. And then we help each other. What keeps me motivated? Seeing my team kick ass internally, getting shit done, externally with you. I'll tell you right now, Mary's our success coach. And sometimes I feel bad for her because I get on a call with a member and they're having a challenge and I volunteer her time. Just literally yesterday with Jake, I volunteered her meeting with the brand new potential manager, somebody moving up, and setting up what materials, what videos, what skills, what spreadsheets, what systems she needs to learn in what order to help her keep on task. And volunteered, we're trying to get a kitchen manager to do a better job and be more accountable and meet with that person and go through. All of a sudden, she's got 2 people she's got to meet with on a weekly basis. But man, that's what she kicks ass on. Now, I'm sharing all this with you because I want you to know I'm no different than you. As an entrepreneur, I've got things pulling at me. And you heard my week. I had a challenging week. I had time that was taken from me that I didn't want, meaning going to the doctor. But these are necessary things that happen in life. I had technology take me off course. I'd have a team behind me that helps you. Because they understand our core values. They understand the direction we're going. They understand that they don't need to talk to me about everything, that if they make decisions that ultimately benefit you, they're always in the right. And as an entrepreneur to entrepreneur, you've got to have the same thing in your restaurant, man. You've got to put people in place to help you. You've got to put systems in place. You've got to put accountability in place. You have got to lead your team. And I open it up by my week just to show you what it's like to be a coach. There's group coaching calls, there's one-on-one, there's internal things, there's marketing, there is creating material from presentations, there's executing webinars, there is from dealing with or not dealing with, helping people and hearing their challenges and internally feeling their pain. And ultimately hearing the change in people and their lives. So I share this with you. Why? I don't know. Hopefully it helps you understand who I am and what we do. Now let's see what I have here in comments. I apologize, I can't bring them up yet. I thought I had that working. Let me just double check. Yeah, it is not. View the queue. Nope. All right, so I'm gonna go old fashioned and look at here. I've got Savage ERA says, good morning, DSP. Good morning to you. VaporX says, had my heart attack on Father's Day. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Yeah, mine was St. Patty's Day. Good times. Daniel, what's up, Daniel? Goat. I have Have a great weekend, my friend. You too. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Savage ERA says audio is glitchy. Interesting. Fix now. Okay. Don't know what that would have done. VaporX says, let's talk reduction in traffic flow. So VaporX, talk to me a little bit. Give me a better understanding of what you mean by that. Let's see, I think that's the last comment I have. I know there's about a 10, 15 second delay, so I'm going to draw out a little time here. Retype in your question on, let's talk about reduction in traffic flow. Are we talking about customers? All right, let's see. Kim says, Chef's bone marrow transplant was 5 years ago, Valentine's Day. 100% cured. That is freaking awesome. Not Chef's, Chet. That is awesome. I'm so glad to hear. You know, this is where, as we get older, you know, I used to burn the candle at both ends. As an entrepreneur, I would work morning, noon, and night. I mean, literally average 4 or 5 hours a night of sleep. I'm 58 years old. I've had a heart attack. Man, my priorities have changed. I am going to make time for my family. I'm going to make time for myself. And it's a part of my renewed passion on helping you all. I do not want you to spend your life in your restaurants. I want you to spend time, quality time with your friends, your family, doing the things you love and make money and not be a prisoner to your business, because there is more to life than making money. I got news for you. As entrepreneurs, we bullshit ourselves all the time. I used to go speak at the New York show in restaurant show in Manhattan, Javits Center, every year. And just about every other, if not back-to-back years, I'd miss my daughter's birthday because I told myself I had to go speak. Did I really? Did I really have to go speak? We say we do things for our family, but we really do it for ourselves. If I could do it over again, I would have figured out as myself how I could have been a better father and been more present, because you only get one chance to do a first, right? There's only one 8th birthday. There's only one 9th birthday. There's only one volleyball tournament for state champs. There's only one. You see what I'm saying? Make your priorities. Let's see here. VaporX says traffic is down 2.8%. So there's a couple things here. VaporX, I've forgotten your name. I'm so sorry. I know you gave it to me last week. I'm a little frazzled with this technology. I think it's important that you start to look at why. Some of it's going to be the economy. It's out of your control. It's what our guests are feeling on a daily basis. What you're feeling. Rising costs. Less expendable cash. So what we may be finding is that we have happy customers, but they're coming in instead of 4 times a month, 3 times a month, 2 times a month. So how do we get them to come back or spend more when they're in the building? How do we get new people in? Well, one, you may reach out to America's Best Restaurants, my buddy Matt Plapp, and have a done-for-you program from acquisition to loyalty program. But we've really got to always be looking to create new customers. That's the acquisition part. But loyalty programs are powerful, getting the same customer to come in more often and spend more because they know they get rewarded. It's listening to my podcast, How to Increase Your Sales by, I think it's $250,000 a year. Go find that on wherever podcasts you listen to, or go to my website, davidscottpeters.com, find the podcast replay. And what you're going to find is that there's little things, from learning to upsell at the table, putting out features that are higher dollar than normal just over the weekends. It is finding catering jobs. It is putting out server contests. There's lots of little things. What you're going to find is, let's say we want to increase our sales $100,000. I think it's like $340 a day, if I remember correctly, and I'm probably wrong, but I'm just spitfiring here. But all of a sudden you look and say, how hard does it increase my sales by $340 a day? Now, if you're doing $500 a day, it's major. That's like, holy crap, we got a problem. But $340 a day, it could be selling 4 appetizers. It could be getting the average ticket up from $20 to $25. It could be driving an extra 10 customers in a day. It could be finding one catering job, a drop-off catering. So this is why it's important that I get you working on your business, not in it. That we work on budgets, marketing, lead your team, develop your managers, hold them accountable, move the company forward, work strategically on your business. I say this shit over and over again. What are you going to do to change? And this is to everybody, not to you specifically. I was in the RTF call and I talked about the importance of how do we overcome all these challenges. Then this question, how to overcome 2.8% drop in sales. Do you know all the things that happen in our business? Every one of the challenges we have, we can overcome by doing what? Learning. Knowledge overcomes every challenge. It's a challenge because you don't know how. Learn, go out there and learn, and all of a sudden, it's not a challenge anymore. That's why, say, my group coaching program is so powerful for restaurant owners. You don't know what you don't know. Plus, you get a kick in the ass to move forward, and you've got people to support you. Let's see here. Savage says, I started working in my dad's restaurant when I was 14. Amen. Luckily, I took a hospitality and tourism class for 4 years in high school. That's where my passion came from. What is the standard schedule for an implementer? All right, so let's be clear. There's a manager and there's an implementer, and often they're the same person. An implementer is going to spend, if you're in my group coaching programs, you're going to spend 5 to 10 hours a week watching videos, doing the homework, which is often setting up and implementing a spreadsheet and a system, and training other managers how to use it. And then it's a part of how every manager, whether supervisor or hourly supervisor up to salaried manager, how that we run our operation on a daily basis. These are our system, our process, our way. So it's going to take about 5 to 10 hours on average. There could be a 15 when you're got something brand new, but then it backs down. But again, it's videos, it's group coaching calls, it's implementing the damn systems. So you don't need necessarily an admin day. I don't need an extra person. But the deal is, an implementer doesn't always have to be a manager. But in my world, it should be one of them. Let's see here. Mary says, look for podcast number 45 on the website or YouTube page. So yeah, you can get the how to increase your sales by $250,000. So Mary said you can go on to my YouTube page, where you are, and go search podcast number 45, or go to my site, davidscottpeters.com, and scroll till you find number 45. Now we've gone over. I do want to throw a couple things out there. If you're in Vegas this weekend and next week for Pizza Expo or Bar and Restaurant Expo, look me up. Love to meet you. Tell me you're on my Shoot the Shits. If you'd like to learn about membership, I can't throw it up on the screen right now because why? I don't have it all set up yet. I will get it set up, Ryan. I will get it there for you. But you can go to dsp.coach/Ryan, and you can learn about our program and what we do. If you want to learn about our 2-day seminar coming up May 14th to 15th, hopefully got those dates right, you go to my site, davidscottpeters.com. At the upper right-hand side, click on Live Seminar. Love to have you. It's your crash course in all the systems. I appreciate y'all putting up with my technology issues. I will get this ironed out. Hopefully next week I'll have it all ironed out. I will have gone live properly on the right stream. I will have gotten the music playing. I will have gotten the lower third to work, and I'll have your chat working here. I'll get there. But I do want to let you know I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you go out there, kick some ass, and have an awesome weekend. Peace, everybody.